Alumni Memorial Fieldhouse on the campus of St. Joseph's University. It's the 1994 Boys Public League Championship basketball game.
A senior, 6 feet 7 inches tall, number 34, Michael Robinson. At center, a junior, 6 feet 6 inches tall, number 32, Joe Brown. At guard, a junior, 6 feet 2 inches tall, number 22, Satu Devine. And at guard, a senior, 5 feet 11 inches tall, number 31, Hassan Ravenel. The Bobcats are coached by Pete Merlino. And for the Simon Gratz Bulldogs, at forward, a junior, 6 feet 2 inches tall, number 20, Brian Samuels. At forward, a sophomore, 6 feet 5 inches tall, number 33, Arthur Dorsey. At center, a senior, 6 feet 7 inches tall, number 40, Lynard Stewart. At guard, a junior, 6 feet tall, number 10, Terrell Stokes. And at guard, a senior, 5 feet 10 inches tall, number 12, Sean Smith. The Bulldogs are coached by Bill Ellerby. The officials for this afternoon's ball game, Tom DeFelice, Jeffrey Clark, and Howard Wilson.
We're just a couple minutes away from the start of this Public League Championship game. We'll be right back with the tap-off after this. Everybody in this packed gym has been ready for the last half hour since the end of that girls' championship game won by University City. The tap controlled by FLC, but a violation will go over to Gratz.
Robinson caught the tap. That's not allowed. So we'll start off with white ball.
Stokes, number 10, Sean Smith, playground legend, Reds Sean Smith, with the basketball for Gratz. Setting up the play. They will play a very deliberate game. Try and get it inside to Stewart. Dorsey, the sophomore, having a little bit of jitters to start with. This is Rasheed Arnold to the hoop. Joe Brown tries to get the rebound but can't. Gratz on the breakaway. Ravenel picks up the loose ball and tries to settle it down, but as you can hear, this place is charged.
Gratz tried to get it on the run there, Carl. Had a layup that they missed, and the follow-up dunk by Stewart also no good. Early jitters.
Michael Robinson looking for three. He's 6'7", the biggest guy on the floor, but he has the best range of anybody out there as well.
In the first game, Robinson took Stewart out to 28 feet once or twice. High school rules for the public league are a little bit different than college and pros. 8-minute quarters. The three-point shot, the same distance, 19-9 as in college. There is no shot clock. And when a team commits 10 personal fouls in a half, we do not shoot two. It's 1-on-1 all the way.
Ravenel with the ball for FLC over to Satu Devine as they patiently look inside. And as I say that, Joe Brown takes a 20-footer with somebody in his face.
Michael Henry now in the game for Gratz, number 22, so Dorsey was just out there for the very beginning. He is also a sophomore. FLC playing a 1-2-2, Carl, and they'll try to step out on Smith and keep him from penetrating.
Well, as Coach Bill Ellerby suggested to us, he's got two sophomores. Both have good size. He's going to try and get something out of either one or both before he brings in Anthony Watson, his normal sixth man. This is the man they've got to get off the box.
Double teamed and kicks it out.
Smith with the miss, taken down by Stewart. And Sean Smith brings it back out and tries to start it over, hounded by Rasheed Arnold. Terrell Stokes takes it to the hoop, and he'll take it to the foul line now for two.
Stokes got the ball in the deep corner, took it right to the hole along the baseline. No hesitation. Gratz will do that. They'll come at you and make you stop them. If you do, fine. If not, you're going to lose the game.
Well, you said Stokes has to get into it offensively, Teddy, and there he goes.
I don't really think he cared whether he made that shot. It was just making a statement to take it hard to the hole and hopefully get to the line. At the same time, he drew a personal foul on Joe Brown, which is also a benefit.
Once again, neither of these teams has a great deal of depth in the front court. So if those big guys get in trouble, that should be a problem. Bill Ellerby's got very little depth. He's trying to go with those two sophomores, as we've suggested. Our first point of the game comes a minute and 56 seconds into it. There will be a whole lot more.
Gratz with the pressure now. And a steal by Stewart.
To Samuel. 3-0 Gratz. They will come at you with that 2-2-1 zone trap, and it pays off there. Satu Devine with the ball, breaks it. To Ravenel for the jumper. Short. Brian Samuels, a 6'1" forward. Stokes. To Stewart, fouled by Robinson.
No way that was happening, Carl. No way he was going to throw down and make a poster out of somebody.
Let's take another look at the way Gratz unselfishly gets this break going.
Red's way ahead to Stokes. The back pass, and Stewart gets hammered. Robinson and Ravenel. FLC, we might want to talk about, Carl, how their boys team was out watching the end of the girls team, and the girls suffered a devastating loss to University City. They were expending a lot of emotion, cheering on their schoolmates, and that might have a little effect on how they come out here.
4-0. Lynard Stewart with another one to come. And he hits them both. It is 5-0. 5:31 remaining in the first quarter. Again, the trap.
And the throwaway.
That's two throwaways. Samuels with the jumper. Short off the rim. Joe Brown with the rebound. Now they're in a man-to-man.
The longer it goes when you haven't scored, the harder it could be. Arnold takes care of that.
Rasheed Arnold with his first bucket, the first points for FLC. 5-2.
Carl, we might look for Gratz to hold it out at some point. They feel they have better man-to-man skills than FLC. Right now, FLC in the 1-2-2 zone.
Henry is occupying Brown on the low post, so that should free up some things outside, Ted. There are not a whole lot of outside shooters on this Gratz team. Michael Blunt, as we told you at the start, their best outside shooter is not playing today. He's got that bad shoulder. He's been told to rest it for a month. Smith on the defensive end knocks it out of bounds. FLC to inbound. 4:24 remaining. Gratz leading 5-2.
Gratz in the man-to-man.
They will double up. If Reds comes off his man, if you don't go through, they will come out and double team you.
Those two kids love to play defense, Smith and Stokes.
Robinson to Ravenel to set things up for FLC.
Now they're in the zone off the out-of-bounds play.
Rasheed Arnold, another big-time play by Rasheed.
He's shooting 62% in the playoffs, averaging 33 a game. So he's going to be going to early and often by the Bobcats. Let's just see here, Carl. A three-pointer is available pretty much anytime Gratz wants to take one. But they're not real good on the outside without Blunt, and that's where they want to take it. Knocked away as Stewart is triple teamed.
The one thing you don't want to do against either team, Satu Devine on the foul. FLC's Satu Devine commits the foul. And we've got a timeout. Our first one. It's 5-4. Simon Gratz leads FLC. Gratz leading FLC by 1 midway through the first quarter. Nobody but Rasheed Arnold shooting today.
You see it there, Carl. He took the ball beyond the arc, got it beyond the arc, and turned what could have been a three-pointer if he had wanted it to be into about a 10-footer. He has that explosive first step, gets by the defender, rises up, and nails the jump shot.
Lynard Stewart and his teammates at Gratz 1 for 7 thus far. FLC 2 for 6. So again, neither team shooting very well. Let's hope it's first quarter jitters for both teams, because both of these teams can shoot a lot better.
Now that was a makeable shot for any decent shooter. Stokes showed the hesitation, tried to dump it inside. That was about a 12-footer. I would have taken that.
You definitely would have taken that. Folks, if you've ever seen Ted Solari play, you know he would have taken that shot. Tattoo Divine with the jumper, misses, and Stokes gets the rebound, wants to bring it up quickly. Divine stops him, Reds for three.
They called two. He was on the line, Carl. They called it two.
7-4, Gratz leads it.
That's where FLC wants to get the ball against the press. To Arnold over half court where he can go and create. Gratz got back quickly, kept him from doing that.
Arnold with no legs in that shot, and it goes out of bounds off the front rim.
His 3-point
2:33
attempt
remaining in the first quarter.
I'm sorry about that. His 3-point shot is basically a set shot. He doesn't really jump. It's strange. He gets up real high on his regular jump shot, but his three is almost like a flat-footed deal.
I would think Rasheed Arnold, who's headed for prep school anyway, will work on that jump shot before he heads up to the next level. This is Stewart with the spin. Looked like he was going to go glass and changed his mind midair.
Lynard now 0 for 2. He had that one out on the baseline a little bit. Usually he likes to play with his back to the basket, get it tight, and use his quickness in his moves to make something out of it.
Inside to Robinson in the paint, hard off the glass. And Lynard Stewart brings it down. Gratz looks to run. Henry was open, but Reds decided to take it himself. There's Henry alone on the side, and he hits it. The sophomore can make a big contribution if he can do that today.
That was a moon ball. It went in.
Pressure right in front of us. Dude Arnold comes over and gives a little smile. Terrell Stokes not necessarily in agreement with that call.
I'm not sure Arnold thought it was a great call either, but he'll take it.
I don't think we should ask him either, even though he's right next to us there.
He had that hedged-in look on his face like he wasn't sure how to get out of it.
Here's Reds taking it to the hoop and dishing off. Henry, a seldom used sophomore, starting, well, not starting because Arthur Dorsey got the start, but in very quickly in the first minute. Another turnover for FLC. Reds, Smith, the
Ronald
senior.
Campbell. Get that out of here, says Robinson. Ronald Campbell, a sophomore guard in now for Gratz, so they're going with the young kids.
Stewart taking it in, and Robinson swatting it away. Henry with the rebound, and he's fouled. So Michael Henry, you know, Rasheed Wallace was a young sophomore here just a few years ago, and when you play in Bill Ellerby's program, you do in fact play, and you learn and you grow.
Reds in and out with the shot. Henry gathers the ball finally, draws the foul from Joe Brown. Good job on the offensive glass. They need maybe 5-6 offensive rebounds out of the young kids to compensate for the fact that Blunt won't be shooting jump shots.
Well stated, too. You said he gathered himself there, Teddy. Got his legs underneath him. He got back up. Even if he doesn't make the free throws, again, taking a toll on that front line of FLC. They're bigger by 4 inches per person. Bill Ellerby's team, 4 inches shorter per man than Pete Merlino's FLC Bobcats. So that could play a factor as well today.
Now, Eric Coleman has come in for FLC, Carl, the sophomore jump shooter, and he's guilty of traveling there.
10-4, Gratz leads. Minute 8 left in the first quarter.
5 turnovers on the Bobcats. As you see again, the three-pointers are there if they want to take them.
And once again, patience, too. That's why you picked Gratz, despite the fact that they would not have Blunt in here, as Stewart goes flash and gets it down.
The nice dump-in pass by Red Smith. Stewart got the ball in the place where he can best do something with it.
Although that starter, we can't emphasize it too much, that Michael Blunt is out. Sean Smith has been here for 4 years as Rasheed Arnold keeps it close.
All 6 points for the Bobcats. He's 3 for 4 from the floor. Now, Pete Merlino wants them to step out a little bit. You see Arnold come out to greet Smith near half court, and a foul.
He greeted him, but he also reached. That's something you don't want to do. with these officials, or any officials for that matter, you don't want to reach. You want to move those feet. Greg Carr checks in for Coleman. Number 14, Greg Carr, in for the first time for FLC.
Greg Carr, probably FLC's best defender. At least that's what he tells me.
And with 16 and a half seconds to go, maybe he'll have a chance to prove it. Hassan Ravenel all over Terrell Stokes.
They had part of his shirt in his hand, too, but we won't say anything.
Stokes tries to break him down. Arnold with the steal. Arnold with the steal. He couldn't control it, and we're at the end of the first quarter. Gratz with a 6-point lead. We saw Gratz try and compensate once again for the loss of Michael Blunt by bringing in a couple of young players, and that's what keeps their system self-perpetuating. They continue to bring up young kids, and Coach Bill Ellerby nurtures them, gets them into the system, and they grow into people like Rasheed Wallace, people like Red Smith, big-time players, Division I players.
It makes such a difference, I think, to get at least a little of meaningful playing time when you're a freshman or a sophomore. So then it's a much more natural progression to grow into star status as a junior and senior. And Ellerby has done that ever since he took over the Bulldogs. I remember when he first took over, he had a point guard named Dennis Whitaker, who played 4 years, went on to a great career at Ohio University. It just makes such a big difference to get that early exposure.
FLC 3 for 12 shooting in the first quarter. Gratz 4 of 12. Both teams turning it over. FLC leads in that area, someplace they don't want to lead. They lead 5-4. So Gratz turn it over, which is not terribly characteristic of their program as well. Now listen, we want you to know that we are not here just to inform you about this one particular game, but we'd like to help the Public League sports out top to bottom. So please send donations to Scholastic Sports Incorporated, 2000 Market Street, 10th floor, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, 19103. We're underway here in the second quarter. Lynard Stewart swats that one away. To make a donation to help Philadelphia Public League sports, call 1-800-237-4283. And we would thank you in advance. Smith with the steal. There's a foul on the play.
Stewart returned the favor. Robinson tried to take it strong to the hole. Stewart was off the ball at that point. Henry was on top of Robinson, but Stewart came from the offside and swatted it.
Arnold in the paint. Be a two-shot foul on Sean Smith.
We talked about this earlier, Carl. They're letting Arnold get the ball too deep. He got that within about 8 feet, and he's just tough, very tough to stop in there.
Smith doesn't contact him early enough, Ted.
He's always going forward. He's very adept at drawing fouls, leaning in, going into the defender. A lot of times you could say he's initiating the contact, but the refs are very often going to call it in your favor in that situation.
No, we should also let people at home know this is a 6'5" player who at the next level could play either the small forward or the wing guard. He's got those kind of skills, and he still may yet grow. So this is a kid who can play.
Gratz 12, Arnold 8.
Campbell fouled on the play by Carr. This is another of those sophomores we talked about. 3 sophomores for Gratz stepping up here today. This is Ronald Campbell, 6'1", 160-pounder.
Stokes into the lane, drops it low to Campbell, standing pretty much by himself, and he draws the contact.
Mark Narducci earlier called Terrell Stokes the best junior guard at least in the Public League. I have a feeling that, his strength is not as a shooter, but as a creator, a point guard that penetrates and passes off. Pete Merlino and his Bobcats try and cut him off right now. 13-8.
Again, the pressure.
They break it. Joe Brown swatted away by Lynard Stewart.
He sent that one.
Lynard's got something of a basketball pedigree as we see him skied for this block. brother Larry plays for the Washington Bullets. Stephen from Coppin State.
Playing-wise, he's much more like Larry.
Oh, that looked like Michael.
Didn't look like either of us, I know that. Hassan Ravenel with the alley-oop to Arnold by himself. He could have jumped in the basket himself almost.
He wears number 23, does Rasheed Arnold, and he plays on that one like another number 23 who's retired now. 13-10.
First pressure from FLC. It pays off, Carl.
Stokes with the rebound, wants to run as he's tackled by Ravenel. Once again, let's take a look at that alley-oop, Ted.
By himself. Henry, all he can do is watch and hope not to get kicked in the face.
7:06 remaining in the second quarter. Bill Ellerby's Gratz Bulldogs leading it by 3. You talked about fighting like cats and dogs, and that's exactly what this is going to be like from now until the end of this one. 5 years these two teams have met in the final. Gratz has won 3, including last year. And for the first time, number 21 comes into the game, Anthony Watson, the normal 6th man. Bill Ellerby knew what he would get from Watson. He wanted to see what the kids could give him earlier.
Very early to be in the 1-on-1. Less than a minute gone in the second quarter. Stokes can't make it pay off for the moment, but that could be crucial as we go towards the half. Already in the 1-on-1 are the Bulldogs. Again, the pressure.
Arnold had it taken away, and he got it back. Stokes with the ball, has Stewart ahead of him, but he walked.
He got a little bit too far ahead, too deep. He realized he was drifting under the basket and would have a tough catch and to put the ball up at the same time, and I think he started thinking a little bit and lost control.
I think he wanted the ball earlier, too, and he did not get it from Terrell Stokes as early as he might have liked. Hassan Ravenel, the senior point guard, tries to settle things down a little bit. Greg Carr back to Ravenel for 3. Short again. Joe Brown taken away by Terrell Stokes. 2 men to beat, and he's fouled by Hassan Ravenel. Stokes with 2 of them to beat, had a half a step on him.
That's the kind of no fear that kid shows. It was 1-on-2. It didn't bother him. He could have waited for teammates, but he figured, I'll go strong to the hole. If nothing else, they'll probably foul me using the good body control.
Our photographer, Vincent Oval, taken out on that play. But he's back. 6:19 remaining in the second quarter as Terrell Stokes prepares to shoot 2 free throws. He doesn't look terribly comfortable up there either.
He got hit on the left shoulder as he went in, and he was, of course, that's not the one he shoots with, but still, if you're in pain, that could affect you. Substitution for the Bulldogs, Brian Samuels back in. Ronald Campbell checks out. And for the Bobcats, Satu Devine replaces Hassan Ravenel.
As you mentioned, that shoulder, Terrell Stokes grabbed it, too, and there he is. He's feeling it gingerly. And he is thinking about it as he steps up to the line and buries it. Again, pressure broken. And that's exactly what Gratz wants FLC to do. Even if they do break the pressure, they want them to be out of control.
Pete Merlino wants them to reset in the front court, and they're not doing it. At practice the other day, that's all he talked about. Resetting in the front court and then pounding the ball inside. Stokes, the tough rebound.
Sean Smith penetrated, had an easy shot, missed it. Stokes had another shot at it, and he missed it too. Out of bounds going the other way. 8 turnovers thus far for FLC. That's certainly not what Pete Merlino wants out of his kids. He has suggested that his kids have to remain calm in order to beat Gratz, because Gratz will not beat themselves.
Gratz has missed a few ducks in the early going here.
Stewart with another block. Satu Devine, though, picks it up, sends it home. Watson. Smacked by Carr. He'll shoot two as we go end to end. And how about these Bulldogs, huh?
Gratz continues to get the ball low. FLC not getting back fast enough. Pete Merlino a little dissatisfied with the refereeing, but I think he should worry about his own team a little too. They're not doing the job and getting back into the paint on defense.
Anthony Watson steps up. His first 2 free throws of the game.
Think the football coach wants to grab this kid for next year, Carl?
If he doesn't, he should. Misses the first with 5:36 remaining in the second quarter. Gratz holding on to a 2-point lead. Makes 1 of 2. Gratz 15-12 now. And again, pressure. And the foul. You see the Gratz kids talking amongst themselves, coordinating how they want to put the pressure on. A well-coached team. You will not find a better coached high school team. Probably 2 of the best high school coaches you could be anywhere. To get these kids to respond as well as they have year in and year out, it speaks well of both programs. Arnold out front. He can shoot from out there. You have to respect him.
Still the zone look, but when the ball is on the near wing, the guards step out immediately. Kind of similar to Temple's matchup zone.
Michael Robinson with the miss, and here's Stokes with another rebound. He's got numbers.
That was tipped.
He tried to draw Robinson, tried to bring him over, but couldn't get it over to his teammate on the left wing.
Gratz again, getting it and going.
Stokes triggers the inbound to Smith. Sean Smith isolated on Carr. He's got exactly what he wanted. Stewart pitches it out to Brian Samuels, who rattles it off the rim. Taken down by Joe Brown. Carr looks up briefly at Rasheed Arnold, then finally gets it to him. Stokes in his face on defense, and he throws up a brick. Stewart wants the ball on the breakout, but Brian Samuels decides to bring it back to Smith. Sean Smith, the field general. Bill Ellerby said once the game starts, he runs the show.
Man to man. Gratz got caught up in the air, still able to draw a foul. That's a sign of a heady player. Did not have anything, still made something out of it.
Coach some of the other teams, players in AAU ball and the playgrounds. This is truly the city game, and we are celebrating it here this afternoon. 4 minutes remaining to play in the second quarter. Gratz by 5. Robinson back to Carr.
Always 2 people around the ball, Carl.
Problem thus far for Gratz, though, and again, is the foul on Sean Smith. The fact that they're reaching, they're not moving those legs. His second foul, team 5th.
I think they've beaten FLC down the court enough early, so the seed is planted that if they can make the steal, they're going to have an easy shot at the other end, and that makes them a little over-anxious on defense. FLC's going to have to take one of these.
Satu Devine takes it, misses it, goes up and out of bounds. 3:39 remaining. Second quarter. Gratz by 5 over FLC. As Sean Smith signals play number 5.
Again, the
sophomore
man-to-man.
Campbell.
Sorry, Carl. Again, the man-to-man.
Steal by FLC. This is Arnold. And Stewart with his 3rd block the first half. Sean Smith taking it to the hoop and softly puts it up off the glass. Arnold hanging, and Campbell takes a swipe at it and puts it away.
That's the difference. Gratz got back on defense. Campbell was right there, even though FLC looked to have the advantage. Campbell knocks it out of bounds. Lynard Stewart has some serious hops.
Carr over to Arnold. And Stewart takes it away from Rasheed Arnold.
He gives him the look like, what are you trying to do?
And screams in his face on the way down. Stokes to the hoop. Softly. Gratz for the run. 21-12 with 2:51 remaining.
Both times there, Carl, Michael Robinson was standing nearby when Smith went past and then when Stokes went past and failed the challenge.
Okay. Gratz by 9. If, in fact, they do win this game, will win it playing defense. 7-0 run. Simon Gratz has not trailed in this game thus far. 2:51 remaining in the second quarter. I'm Carl Churkin along with Ted Solari, bringing you the first ever Public League Championship game on live television in the Delaware Valley.
FLC with 12 points to this juncture. Arnold has 10 of them. The other players are shooting a combined 1 for 13.
Some of that's got to do with the opposing team's defense, I would think. More than a little. As Greg Carr works the point now. Good pass there from Rasheed Arnold into Michael Robinson for the basket.
There you see the passing skills we were talking about. Through hands, no problem. Now FLC wants to play zone, and I think Gratz, well, they're going to go. I thought they were going to pull them out there for a second.
Into Watson. A 6-footer going up against a 6'7". With the pump fake, goes glass and gets it down. Pressure again. And Watson with the steal. Had nowhere to go, tried to go behind his back, and turns it back over to FLC.
Watson pointing to himself as just indicated, I know I screwed up. Please forgive me.
He'll be reminded of that at halftime by Coach Ellaby, I'm sure. Rasheed Arnold takes it in and gets hammered by Campbell. Yeah, he leaned in to draw the foul, and he got exactly what he wanted.
That's what he does. Real good body control. Here you see, didn't have much. He left his feet and kind of got caught in the air. Had to do something. Figured he pulled his body in a little further and drew the contact.
Rewarded for his creativity with 2 free throws with Rasheed Arnold.
Averaging 33 a game in the playoffs. 25 overall.
Hits them both. 23-16 now. Gratz with the ball and the lead with 1:20 to go.
Robinson now covering Stewart. And they go to him.
Stewart kicks it back to Stokes, to Campbell. Samuels looking around as Gratz works it around very patiently. Not going to take a bad shot. With just over 1 minute to go and a 7-point lead. Smith takes it in. He was committed. He had to go. He pulls up a bad shot. Knocked back at him, and here's FLC with a chance to cut further into that lead.
Coleman shuffled his feet on the wing. One of Gratz's last possessions, Sean Smith made a good penetration but got caught in the air. And unlike most of the other times, there was no one to give it to. And the ball got tipped away. Pete Merlino and Lou Williams, the brain trust for the Bobcats.
Inside 1 minute to play. First half. They get it into Samuels. Back to Smith and Stokes for 3. Hits the back iron. Samuels with the rebound. No walk called on that play. FLC players wanted it. Stokes too hard off the glass. And it'll stay Gratz's ball. You can see in the lower right-hand corner of your screen, 26.2 seconds left to play in the first half.
Stokes to inbound.
We'll play for 1 with 20 seconds to go. Coleman comes out on Smith. Rasheed Arnold on Stokes. Smith going to try and break Coleman down with about 10 to go. We got 8. Inside to Watson. Soft gets a nice little thank you roll from Mr. Rim as it goes in. Gratz going in at the half, leading 25-16.
That 2 Divine with 2 apiece. For Gratz, balanced scoring. Sean Smith 6. Anthony Watson off the bench with 5. He made his only 2 shots from the floor. And Lynard Stewart, Terrell Stokes with 4 apiece.
That balance from Gratz, rather typical of the Bulldogs. All 5 starters average in double figures. Robinson with the block on Dorsey to start things off. To Rasheed Arnold. And Robinson with the follow.
That's what FLC needed, a much more interested Michael Robinson.
But there's Stewart beating everybody back down the floor. He beats Robinson, puts it up off the glass, and they maintain that 9-point advantage. So that play negates the other one at the other end. Rasheed Arnold in the open floor. Offensive goaltending on Michael Robinson. And across the way, Pete Merlino with his hands on his hips. Cannot believe they made that call.
That's not bad for FLC. They would like the 2 points, sure, but more importantly, Robinson is being aggressive.
Dorsey told not to move as he's the guy who has to break things. As Gratz very cleverly calls the timeout as the sophomore looked like he was in trouble. 7:20 remaining here in the third quarter. Gratz leading 27-18. A very quick timeout by Gratz, something they probably didn't want to do.
Gratz are now going to talk things over, Carl, to see what they want to do against the pressure. They would like to get it and go as they've been doing for most of the game, but they have to do it under control. Lynard Stewart made a nice dump pass to Arthur Dorsey on the first sequence. Dorsey not real adept at catching the ball and making a move, and it got hammered by Robinson. They just want to make sure that doesn't happen again.
Dorsey started the game for senior Michael Blunt, who's out with a shoulder injury. Coach Bill Ellerby is trying to go with sophomores to try and get what he would normally get out of Blunt. He will not get the outside shooting, but it changes things around, and the assignments are a little bit different, so Gratz is going to take it over.
At the half, it was interesting to see how long each team spent in the locker room. FLC was back out within about 6 minutes, and you would think the Bobcats would have had more to talk about. Gratz came out almost at the end and took very few shots before the second half began.
West Philadelphia has the most public league titles. The Speed Boys with 18, Overbrook and Central 17 apiece. And Central, now coached by Frank Greco, has not won a title since 1932. And Frank from the old neighborhood would like to change that. A little tougher these days to win at Central than it was when there were a lot fewer high schools. Smith to the hoop, misses, and Stokes puts it back up off the glass and in.
That should not be happening. FLC should not be allowing 5'10" and 6-foot guards to get offensive rebounds.
If you would tell that to the Gratz guards, they would scoff at it because they have no idea that they're not 6'3", 6'4". That'll be a 3-shot foul, I would think, as Robinson, who has great range for a big man, looking to shoot the 3, was fouled by Dorsey.
Sean Smith was up in Dorsey's face, giving him a hard time for fouling somebody on a 3-point attempt. But he's young, he's learning. That's part of it.
Here it is again. We can see the play for the briefest of seconds as Robinson hits the first of 2.
Robinson can really get it going.
First of 3, I should say. He's 2 for 2 thus far with another one to go. 3 free throws on a 3-shot attempt, 3-point attempt.
A lot of chirping going on along the foul lanes, both sides.
And a lot of praying in the stands. Dorsey with the rebound. Stokes wants to bring it up quickly. He had Dorsey, but he throws to Samuels instead. He goes glass and down again. 31-20, Gratz leads it.
Nice hard move along the baseline by Brian Samuels, 6'2", junior.
Rasheed Arnold over to Michael Robinson. Hassan Ravenel to the hoop.
Little indecision on the part of the referees. I'm not sure any of them got a real clear look at it.
I think Jeffrey Clark, who's familiar with this St. Joe's Fieldhouse, makes the call.
Jeffrey, an all-city player at Frankfurt High, then had an outstanding career here on Hawk Hill.
Robinson to Devine and back to Robinson for 3. That's a brick. 6 minutes to go, third quarter. Samuels swatted away by Robinson.
Into about the 6th row. They don't let you keep the ball here, though, Carl. It's not like baseball. Samuels, out of here.
And the two teams decide to duck on out of here, as we will. Memorial Fieldhouse here at St. Joseph's. Hawk Hill playing host to the Public League Championship game. Gratz in white, FLC in blue. Terrell Stokes with a jumper for 2.
Got a 15-footer on the left baseline. They left him open, no hesitation.
Stokes has to hit that because it's open. Otherwise, they'll pack it in on Stewart. Thus far, Gratz has been able to get the ball into Stewart and spread it out. Joe Brown with the rebound off to Michael Robinson. Miss. And he'll get 2.
Well, 2 earlier sequences, we saw Robinson attempt 3-pointers, one on which he got fouled and another which was a brick. He hit some threes in the regular season game between these two teams. This time he catches it low, kind of tried to shoot it and catch in the same motion without really being set. But Joe Brown was on the opposite side off the glass to rebound.
The senior Lynard Stewart came over and talked to Arthur Dorsey, the sophomore, chastising for fouling him because he wanted a block. That is, Stewart wanted another block. He's already got 4. Joe Brown with 2 free throws.
The older guys at Gratz are relentless on the younger guys. They give them the hardest time, but they just want to toughen them up, and if they don't give it to him, Ellerby will.
Stokes blows by his man, goes to the opposite hand, and puts it down.
And left 2 guys in his wake. 2 bodies for FLC on the floor.
I think that's the thing that impresses me most about Terrell Stokes. He's so strong and so confident. You see his bulging calf muscles, his real strong lower body. Just blows past a couple of players on the way to that basket. Close-up shot of the young sophomore Arthur Dorsey. And, of course, my favorite, the Bulldogs.
There's Arnold again with the penetration. Stewart steps in, and I believe, yes, they called the foul on Lynard. It's only his first, so we're already into the third quarter, and that's the first personal for Stewart.
That time, Dorsey had stepped in, had his hands straight up. Lynard was the one who came over and should not have committed that foul. Dorsey was in good position. But I think Rasheed Arnold will embarrass more than a few people in any course of any basketball game. He's that gifted.
Arnold likes to wear a headband, but it has the name of a company on it, and the referees made him take it off. He tried it last week, and they made him take it off. And he tried to wear it again today, and they made him take it off. Just like Jim McMahon that time.
John Smith, conscious of the man on his back, puts up an awful-looking shot, taken down by Robinson. This is Rasheed Arnold in the open floor, and he smiles for the camera.
On the gallop that time. Now the lead is under 10. We're down to 9, 35-26.
Amazing how cognizant these kids are of that camera. They know where it is at all times. Stokes breaking down Devine. Pitches back to Red Smith, who calls out the play, signals 2 fingers. Stokes off a pick by Michael Henry. Again, fake and drive behind the back to Henry, who gets 2 free throws.
Beautiful dish by Stokes. A no-look pass with his right hand back to Henry. Not quite ready to catch it and do something with it. He's just not that advanced.
Little head fake. Now watch him dish it behind. Gets 2 men up in the air. Henry doesn't gather himself and push up, but at least he drew the 2 free throws.
Terrell Stokes getting after it.
Michael Henry, a 6'4" sophomore. 3 points in the first half. He's got great size, though. He's got 2 years ahead of him.
I think he's grown since they made the roster. He looks a little bigger than 6'4".
He does. I agree with that. But then again, everybody looks 6'4" to me, or more. Great Carr against the pressure from Gratz. Robinson decides to hold up for a bit, then takes it himself. shooting down on the basket from the right wing.
That shows the kind of ability Robinson has. He was at least 30 feet away from the basket. Just decided to go, took it hard. Covered by Henry the whole time. He probably could have gotten even a little further if he had tried, and maybe drawn the foul from Stewart, who I'm sure would have jumped over to help out.
Anthony Watson in the game. Michael Henry back to the bench. A 10-point lead for Gratz with 3:58 remaining. Michael Robinson for the second of his 2 free throws. Planks that one off the front rim. Joe Brown gets the rebound and has it taken away by Terrell Stokes, who spins out of there. Looked like the bump cars at the State Fair banging off people. Smith to the hoop. This is Stewart. Jams it. And a little bump from Michael Robinson. He was in Robinson's neighborhood there. In his face, he's got the Bobcat dancing at the other end. And people screaming at every end as we got people from behind us, the guys in the stands, want to see this one again.
From Reds, he was knocked off balance, used the rim to maintain his balance, and hammered it home at the same time. We have people over our shoulders want to see the replay. We'll make room.
And the three-pointer. Three-point play for Gratz as they go ahead 39-26. Joey Goldenberg's Speed Boys won 5 in a row. The best Gratz can do is 4 out of 5, but I know that's what they want. As Robinson answers at the other end as the pace picks up.
Good afternoon, says Michael. Still an 11-point lead for the Bulldogs.
Sean Smith. And Arnold takes it away. Look out! See you later time.
He opts for the one-hander. He's probably thinking about it the whole way down, which variety of dunk he was going to unfurl.
Which one will I come up with? With 3:01 remaining, there's a timeout. Here's Rasheed, Ted.
He even looks behind to see who was coming and yells at the Gratz fans.
I'm surprised with that much open space he wasn't a bit more creative, but then again, with an 11-point deficit to make up at the time, I'm sure Rasheed Arnold was thinking about that as he factored all those in his mental computer.
You want to entertain, but you don't want to embarrass yourself.
And you also don't want to blow a dunk and have Coach Merlino in your face. Pete Merlino and his Franklin Learning Center Bobcats down 9 here with 3:01 as we get started here in the third quarter. It was a 9-point deficit. It's a 9-point deficit now. However, a lot has transpired here in the third quarter.
As we mentioned earlier, Carl, FLC had only 4 free throws in the first half, all by Arnold. In this quarter already, they've attempted 9 and made 6. So that's a sign that they're getting the ball closer to the basket, using the good body control, getting the Gratz players on their back, on their arms, drawing some fouls. FLC has to lengthen the game.
The pace of this game has picked up. The scoring pace has picked up. Again, 3:01 remaining in the third quarter. Gratz by 9 as Rasheed Arnold comes out to bother Sean Smith. Carr gets his hand on the ball, deflects it out of bounds. Sean Smith, 5'8", maybe 5'9", listed at 5'10". I didn't even see him listed at 6 feet tall. Some of those Division I coaches to be faked out. A gifted player. And there almost had it stolen, but had the presence of mind to kick it back to Stewart. Joe Brown with the rebound as FLC starts to make a run.
The rebound and the ferocious yell.
A lot of pushing and shoving going on now, too. Lynard Stewart brings it down. Rasheed Arnold makes the play and got hammered himself on the play. Again, to make a donation to help Philadelphia Public League Sports, call 1-800-237-4283. FLC with the ball out of bounds underneath their own basket. Hassan Ravenel to Rasheed Arnold. Off the glass and down. 39-32. Gratz still in the lead. But FLC's coming. Anthony Watson hanging, missing. And Joe Brown with the rebound. Ravenel and Arnold, the backcourt, say slow it down. 2 minutes left in the third quarter.
FLC needs a sensible possession here.
There's one. Instead, they got an incredible basket by Rasheed Arnold. I'm sure they're happy to have. 1:45 remaining. Third quarter. Campbell throws it away.
Foul on Ray.
And Sean Smith tries to get in the lane, but he commits the foul. It's FLC's basketball.
Substitution for Gratz, Brian Samuels. Here we're going to see the nice pass by Ravenel. Underneath, Arnold flipped it off the glass while facing the stands.
Hassan Ravenel, the senior point guard. Barks out signals. Michael Robinson comes to the high post, now goes on the low block. Lynard Stewart on him. Joe Brown on the other side of the lane. They look inside. Again, no shot clock in high school basketball. Arnold puts it up, no foul. Joe Brown with the rebound, loses it to Watson. The possession arrow towards FLC. So they're rewarded for that ferocious back-checking.
Everybody's starting to work the rest now, including the players. Watson talking to Howard Wilson, wanted a call for a foul. Doesn't get it. The possession arrow favors the Bobcats. Ravenel will inbound.
The officials letting these kids play, not a factor in this game, and we hope it stays that way. Inside to Arnold. Fouled by Watson.
Triple teamed. Watson in front of him, Brian Samuels behind him, and Stewart arrives late. Arnold, again, as we mentioned, drawing the fouls. Stewart wanted the block.
Yeah, Watson with the body. He got the block, did Stewart, but unfortunately, the poor Gratz anyway. Bill Ellerby's Gratz Bulldogs call for the foul. And Bill Ellerby not panicking, not making any moves for a timeout. He's still got a 5-point lead, down to 4. Gratz wins most of the ball games in the fourth quarter anyway. At least the close ones. There haven't been too many, but every time they do, Rasheed Arnold has made this one close here with a spectacular rush here in the third quarter. He along with Michael Robinson.
24 points now for Arnold.
Just under a minute to go. Gratz leading by 2. As Stokes steps over the end line, or the sideline, and it's FLC's basketball. Now Gratz wants to talk it over. Let's set the scene for you once again. 53.5 seconds left to go here in the third quarter. Gratz up by 11. Has seen most of that disappear. FLC now with the basketball on a 14-4 run has cut the deficit to just 3. 39-36. The Bobcat exhorting his fans to cheer. You saw the Gratz Bulldogs talking to his fans. FLC wants this one in the worst way after losing earlier in the year and having lost 3 out of 4 in championship play to this Bulldog team.
This is where Gratz needs to show composure, Carl. They're on their heels, they're reeling, and they need to show composure for the rest of the quarter and into the fourth. This is what they've done in their run with Bill Ellerby as the coach. That's what has made them what they are, one of the best programs in the country. I can't imagine they're going to fold, but FLC is going to try to make that happen.
FLC going to the pressure too, Ted. That was something we haven't seen. Certainly did not see much of it in the first half. They came out with, Rasheed Arnold, who was 6'5", going up against a kid who was about 8 inches shorter than he. And of course, Rasheed Arnold, an explosive offensive player.
Again, the body control. You can't emphasize that enough. He was off balance, probably got knocked on the way, still able to funnel the ball into the hoop.
Back in play. FLC trails Gratz by 3, 50 seconds to go in the first quarter. Bobcats call set play.
For FLC, I think the question becomes, do you want to go for it right away? They do, and miss. But Arnold.
Joe Brown with the miss. Rasheed Arnold with the tip. 30 seconds to go in the third. They're back within 1. Lynard Stewart comes out, and he is fouled. They had Lynard Stewart down on the block. They brought him out now to break the press.
That's going to make a big difference. He was 30 feet away from the basket. If he does help you break the pressure or at least reset, then he has to go back down to the blocks. That could really tire him out as time goes on.
Bill Ellerby coaching at every possible moment as his Gratz Bulldogs hold a 1-point lead with just about 10 seconds to go. Brian Sanders looking inside to Stokes, to Henry. Doesn't get up quick enough, and it's knocked away.
Michael Robinson. Sometimes you want to block the shot and hope to get a fast break out of it. Other times you like to send a message. That's what Robinson did.
6 seconds left. Gratz to inbound under their own basket. All the way out to Red Smith. He goes for 3 and hits it. As time expires in the third quarter, Rasheed Arnold, 8 minutes left to play in this one in regulation anyway. 42-38, Gratz leading FLC.
Well, I hope you're not hungry. 6 years ago, the Public League Championship game went 4 overtimes.
We got to get off on time for Sports Sunday. That's all I care about. Of course, you have to be there in time for the 10 o'clock news, which, of course, starts at 10 o'clock as well, but
Oddly enough.
strange how that works, isn't it? Here we go. Gratz and FLC in the fourth quarter in an extraordinarily competitive boys Public League Championship game.
Gratz still content to go against the zone. I'm a little surprised by this. I thought now he's going to go 4 corners. Here we go. They're going to make FLC come out. Red Smith calls the timeout, and they're going to talk it over.
That sign says the Bobcats are number 1. They've got to prove it yet. They weren't last year, and Gratz is not going to give up this title very easily, are they, Ted?
Just before that timeout, Carl, Gratz coach Bill Ellerby signaled for 4 corners. You saw Smith step out close to the half-court line and get double-teamed. They called the timeout. We'll see when they come back out whether they still want to try to draw FLC into a man-to-man or whether they'll be satisfied to attack the zone. They have the 4-point lead, so of course they can draw them out.
And again, there's no shot clock in Public League play, so keep that in mind, folks. But I think you also ought to keep in mind, too, all 5 of these Gratz starters average in double figures. Of course, we told you earlier that Michael Blunt is not in there. They've gotten some production out of Anthony Watson and Michael Henry in the substitute role today. But I think that Gratz wants to break them down man-to-man because one-on-one, they have more guards, more guys who can handle the ball and take players one-on-one. Rasheed Arnold can take anybody one-on-one for FLC, but there are at least 3, maybe 4 players out on the floor for Gratz who can beat a player one-on-one.
Arnold takes groups of people. They're playing it straight for the moment. Henry double-teamed and coughs it up to Joe Brown.
7:15 remaining, fourth quarter. Gratz by 4 over FLC. Robinson, air ball, taken down by Stokes to Smith. Gratz wants to run. They got numbers. To Stewart for the basket. Lynard Stewart with the bucket to start the fourth quarter scoring.
That's only his 6th attempt from the floor for the game. He missed his first 2 and has made his last 4. That's been Gratz's history this year to get Stewart off in the fourth quarter.
Samuels goes for the steal. Arnold holds on, throws it up short. Stewart with the ball, but puts it down, and it's knocked out of bounds. It'll be FLC's basketball.
Shawn Smith on the break to Lynard. Thought about dunking it, got bumped. Good no call, and he just kisses it off the glass.
FLC triggers it back to Robinson. Rasheed Arnold and Greg Carr. That's Ravenel to Carr, and he throws it away, taken away by Samuels, whose feet went out from under him and over the sideline.
A lot of contact as they near the sideline. I think Bill Ellerby wanted a call against Brown. Instead, FLC's ball.
Good no call. They're both going for the ball. Neither player gained an advantage as they banged one another. Ravenel with the basketball. Way out.
Robinson was just drawing with Samuels on the left block. Loses it.
Henry got over there, and the guard came down. Samuels breaks through.
Now they reset.
Pulls it back.
They reset. Nice.
Samuels to Stokes, and Stewart pulls it back. Gratz, patient, well coached.
When you hold a 6-point lead, there's no hurry.
FLC's in a hurry, trailing by 6 with 5:45 to go. Sooner or later, they're going to have to come out and force the action. They come out and double team Stokes, who gets it over to Samuels, and back to Stokes.
Still in the zone, though. As long as they don't
wide
go
open.
the man, he palmed it. Double dribble. Maybe both.
Shawn Smith wide open on the left wing. Stokes wanted to get it to him, but at the same time didn't want to push it ahead too quickly. And that moment of indecision caused a turnover.
13 turnovers for the Bulldogs.
Very uncharacteristic of that team. Lynard Stewart comes over, makes the steal, and will go back the other way, off Michael Robinson.
Robinson was posted low, had Henry pinned against the lane, but you saw Stewart arrive at the last second and tip it away.
That's 14 turnovers for FLC. So both teams getting in each other's kitchen. Pots and pans flying all over the place.
Double high post now for Gratz. Henry and Stewart both up to the top of the foul lane. And a blocking foul on set 2, Divine.
5:01 remaining. Gratz still holding on to a 6-point lead. Yeah, how can you be bored with a 6? Oh, hello there. How are you? We got her. How can you be bored with a 6-point lead in this game?
I'm not watching the ladies' ball. I'm watching the game here.
Stewart takes it in. Gets the FLC players up in the air. It should be a one-shot foul. A non-shooting foul is what I meant to say. Not a shooting foul. He was not shooting. As Carr comes in for Divine for FLC. Gratz to inbound.
FLC has one foul to give, and the next foul incurred by Gratz will put FLC into the 1-on-1.
Bill Ellerby, you saw a shot up on the sideline. Hard to tell if he's winning or losing. What he is doing is thinking. Now they got him in the man-to-man. This is what Gratz wanted. As Ravenel comes out to meet Stokes. Terrell Stokes. Over to Shawn Smith. His turn now to take that ball and play with it for a little while.
Last year when Gratz was up big late in the game, the fans wanted to see entertainment out of the Bulldogs. Ellerby held the ball almost the rest of the way.
Henry takes it to the hoop, gets his body between himself and the basket, and he is fouled.
Actually, the fact that he's a little slow was an advantage in that one because he took long enough that someone arrived and hammered him.
He drew the foul. He didn't get it off quickly, Ted, as you said, but watch him lean. He held on to it long enough for there to be contact.
Now Henry to the line. He's 2 for 4 this afternoon.
The sophomore bangs the first one off the front rim. Bill Ellerby telling his players, calm down, we got the lead, 4:12 to go. The lead now 7 points as Henry hits 1 of 2.
And every time he's missed the first and made the second.
Gets the jitters out of the way and then calms down, bends those knees.
Because Ellerby yells at him. That pass was not there.
Not at all. He tries to force it through 3 players as Hassan Ravenel, and Gratz comes away with a steal. 3:56 remaining. Gratz leading 45-38, and they'll shoot 1-on-1s from now on.
In the public league, there is no such thing as the 2-shot foul rule when a team gets its 10th personal foul of a half. So it will just be 1-on-1s.
It's a bit of an advantage to the defense. Puts the pressure on the offense. If you shoot free throws like Brian Sanders just did, you say thank you very much for putting me here for the free ones. Samuels hits them both. Gratz leads it now 46-38. 3:56 remaining to be played. Gratz breaking the huddle with a 47-38 lead. Ted, Lynard Stewart has come to life here in the second half. 11 points, 4 blocks, 6 steals, and a great deal of presence under the hoop for Gratz.
That's what they needed, among other things. They needed him to be on the floor for the bulk of the game. They could not afford to have Lynard sitting down. So even though he does have the blocks, he only has the 1 personal foul. Again, that's a sign of body control.
FLC made that 12-0 run. They got back within a point. And then Gratz reestablishes a 9-point advantage with 3:40 to go. Inside in the paint. Joe Brown shot is short. Michael Henry and Rasheed Arnold fight for the loose ball. The possession arrow goes to FLC. The referees, Howard Wilson, poised and ready to make that call. But again, the referees should be complimented today for not being a factor in this game, just keeping it clean. No basket, it's waved off as Pete Merlino keeps his kids under control with so much at stake. His Franklin Lenning Cerner Bobcats have yet to score in this quarter, and after they made it so close, and now they have not scored for 4:28 of the 4th quarter.
Arnold now to the line with a chance to put FLC on the board for the first time this quarter. 3:32 left. Did not do it.
Rattles it off the rim. Michael Robinson with the rebound. This time the possession arrow going back the other way. Gratz will inbound under the FLC basket. FLC will press full court. Lynard Stewart wide open. Is met by Joe Brown. Decides to bring it back. That's not what he wanted to do as he gets his man trapped in the corner. Terrell Stokes in the corner is hammered by Ravenel. Stokes should be shooting free throws. Why is he not?
I'm not sure what the call was there, Clark. Obviously, there's no such thing as a force out anymore. Maybe Howard said that Ravenel had stepped on the baseline as he made contact to go for the ball. And Henry steps on the end line.
I'm still trying to figure out what happened on the previous play.
Hey, let's put it behind us.
Let's please do. 3:15 remaining. 47-38. Gratz leads.
Now they're beyond the arc. Arnold beyond the arc on one side, Robinson on the other, Ravenel in the middle.
And Rasheed Arnold skying for the rebound in the basket. 47-40. Just under 3 minutes to go. Stokes over to Samuels. Stokes to the hoop. Lynard Stewart misses the jam. On a technical foul for hanging on the rim. Referee Tommy DeFelice calls the technical on Stewart. That'll be 2 shots and possession to FLC.
I disagree with that call. Tom DeFelice, one of the best officials but I think they could have let that go. It did not really affect anything. Now FLC is going to shoot the two, as you mentioned, Carl, with the possession. He did grab it with both hands.
Michael Robinson studies and buries the first free throw. 2:47 remaining.
Stewart just came over to talk to the police while Robinson was preparing for the second shot. They asked him what he did wrong there.
And FLC to inbound right in front of us. 2:47 remaining. 47-42. Gratz leads it. FLC with the ball and a little bit of momentum swinging their way.
Again, Arnold and Robinson out beyond the arc. Now Robinson goes in. So does Arnold.
Samuels got a piece of Rasheed Arnold's shot, but there to retrieve it, Joe Brown, who puts it down and brings FLC within 3 with 2:31 to go. And a timeout, Gratz. Welcome back to St. Joseph's Alumni Memorial Fieldhouse. I'm Carl Churkin along with Ted Solari. We've seen FLC go on a 6-0 run to get back into this one. They now trail Gratz by 3 with 2:31 remaining. What does Gratz have to do to stabilize this run, Ted?
I think they have to attack the basket. 2.5 minutes is a little bit too long just to rely on getting fouls and making free throws.
Which is what they did almost to start this fourth quarter. Tried to take the air out of the ball just a little bit, maybe a little too early. Brian Samuels with Rasheed Arnold on him.
To Stokes. Steps on the sideline, right in front of us.
Rasheed Arnold playing good defense, getting in good space, getting in good position, forcing the turnover again.
Ravenel out front, Gratz in the 1-2-2. Arnold again will set up beyond the arc. Robinson runs through the zone left to right.
University City's girls team beat FLC earlier today. The men Bobcats don't want to have the same thing happen to them. Bad shot by Carr. And now Samuels with Stewart. Samuels goes to the left hand off the glass. And Gratz leads it by 5 with 1:45 to go.
Carr, not really a shooter, took the 3 and airballed it. Arnold airballs a 3, and Stewart rebounds.
Picks it out of the air.
Just when FLC was exhibiting some sense and doing some good things, they come down and take 2 bad shots on back-to-back possessions.
Well, Lynard Stewart looked over here behind us. He's got his family and friends. Kind of shook his head and smiled and said, I know, we got it now. Still 1:42 to go, though. 49-44. Lynard Stewart to shoot 1 and 1. As this capacity house has every eye fixed on Lynard Stewart. He's got nothing but cotton on the first.
Now 4 for 4 at the line is Stewart.
LaSalle, Temple, and Coppin State are the finalists in the Lynard Stewart sweepstakes.
I think he's going to the middle one, you said.
Which one was the middle one? I've lost count.
Temple.
Oh.
Joe Brown got the rebound there.
We'll find out shortly. Hassan Ravenel to Greg Carr, back to Ravenel. 50-44. Carr with it again. Pulls up this time. He's open again. This time he hits the 3. 50-47. Smith had it knocked back by Joe Brown. Sean Smith trying to get it down court to Terrell Stokes and Lynard Stewart with 1:15 remaining.
There was discussion there as Jeffrey Clark made the call by the FLC players claiming they had asked for a timeout after the 3-pointer by Carr. They did not get it. Gratz was able to inbound and get it up close to half court where Smith was fouled. Now Greg Carr in Smith's face. Here comes Ravenel. They both want to chirp at him. Smith backs up almost to midcourt so he doesn't have to listen to their static before he goes to the line. Carr still chirping, as is Ravenel.
Sean Smith buries the first one. Here's the play again. After the three, they try to call the timeout. You can see in the middle of your screen, Arnold calling for it, but Gratz gets it in quickly. Nobody from Gratz underneath to rebound. Sean Smith rattles the second one. 1:10 to go. 51-47. Gratz leads. Carr to Ravenel. Carr again, looking for Michael Robinson. He finds Rasheed Arnold, who picks up the three and hits it.
Oh, my goodness.
51-50. And we're going to keep it right here. 57.8 seconds left to go. Lots of dancing, lots of shouting, lots of scoring left to go. Everybody from Franklin Learning Center, from Gratz, half of them on their feet, the other half are yelling. They get tired, they sit down, the other half get up and yell. 51-50. Here's the three by Arnold. Pete Merlino, the head coach, signals for the timeout. Again, very focused on what he has to do now. 57.8 seconds. FLC down one, Ted.
A lot of poise shown by the Bobcats. Greg Carr and Rasheed Arnold both seriously bricked three-pointers and had the presence of mind and the guts to come back and try it again. Carr made his. Arnold took it to the opposite side and made his. And FLC in the neighborhood. 1 point.
FLC with two shots that you really don't want your team to take unless you have to. I thought Rasheed Arnold would probably put it on the floor, try for a three-point play the old-fashioned way, but with two players in his face, he just jumped over them and hits the three to get FLC back within one. The closest they've been in the second half.
He barely looked at the basket either. He just had his head down at the floor, like giving the impression he was about to take it, as you said, and then just lifted and banged it.
Radar. Zoomed in on it, FLC. The cheerleaders jumping and cheering. The players exhorting their fans, screaming, as FLC goes on a 12-4 run to get back in this ball game. Gratz to inbound, FLC keeping the pressure on. Michael Robinson in single safety. The Gratz cheerleaders taking this one hard. They're still leading.
Stokes to Samuels. Here we go.
Stokes fouled by Rasheed Arnold with 54.8 seconds left to go. FLC is going to make them win it at the free throw line. They're not going to let Gratz take the air out of the basketball and do whatever they want for as long as they want.
Brian Samuels, 2 for 2 at the line. 54.8 seconds remaining. Again, no one on the lines for the Bulldogs.
Why would they not have somebody up there? Is defense that paramount in their game plan?
It's something Bill Ellerby almost always does, especially with not having much depth. He's afraid of the guys getting called for over-the-top fouls if they go for a missed foul shot. So he just gets them out of there. You don't have to worry about it.
You get back and play defense as Samuels hits two. FLC trails Gratz by 3. 47 seconds left to go in the fourth quarter. Rasheed Arnold driving, puts it up, misses. Samuels knocks it over the line. Bill Ellerby comes all the way down. He can get a technical for that if he's not careful.
Way out of the coaching box, beyond half court. Now Merlino walking up to show. Merlino walked over to midcourt almost to show the referees where Ellerby was. Samuels tracked down the rebound in the corner, but stepped on the sideline or the baseline, one of the two. He was in the dead corner. 40.8 left, Carl.
FLC calls a timeout. They trail by 3. Every possession here, needless to say, is a big one.
There's not a lot of room in that corner to inbound the ball. You're allowed 3 feet, and they have to push the defender back out of Ravenel's space. The question now for the Bobcats becomes, they're down 3, 40.8 seconds remaining. Obviously an ample amount of time to have a good choice here.
Yeah, I don't think if the three's there, you take it, but you certainly don't have to take the three, Ted, in my opinion. You know, if it's there, fine, you've hit the last two in a row, but you got a player as gifted as Rasheed Arnold and Michael Robinson, Robinson the shooter, Arnold the slasher, you could still get a three-point play out of it, too. So, I mean, they have to take the first best shot they can come up with.
Especially the way the rule is, as we mentioned, that there is not the two-shot bonus rule for a 10th personal foul. So if you make the two and you're down one, then you send Gratz to the line. The worst you can be is down three. And if you miss the front end, then you're only down one with the ball coming back at them.
The Bobcats don't have to push it too quickly. They can get a good shot. Anxious moments for the Gratz cheerleaders. Anxious moments for some close to 4,000 people here up on Hawk Hill. And some people are just taking it in flow, you know. 40.8 left to go. 53-50. Gratz with the lead. FLC with the basketball. Shawn Smith knocks it out of bounds, so they'll trigger it again.
Rasheed Arnold, 31 points now, Paul. He's averaging 33 in the playoffs. Smith all over.
They let the ball come in the corner, and Smith steals it. A double team there with the sophomore, Ronald Campbell. He got his hands on it. The 6'1" sophomore knocks it into the senior's hand, and he'll shoot 1 and 1. Here it is again.
Again, they're in the dead corner. That has to be the toughest place to try to do something with the basketball. Campbell and Red Smith double team Greg Carr. They get the steal. Smith again backs up from the line. He doesn't want to hear the static from Carr. .8 seconds left to go.
Shawn Smith, with 10 points thus far, has a chance here to get a couple more. Give his club a little bit of a cushion. 53-50. Shawn's been a part of 2 championship teams in his 4 years. He'd like to add a third today. Clanks it off the back of the rim. FLC with a chance again. Arnold looking for a three. An unbelievable shot by Rasheed Arnold. He then fouls Terrell Stokes. Rasheed Arnold unconscious. Not on the floor. He's just a little spent after committing that foul, but Rasheed Arnold hit an unbelievable three. And that is his 5th foul of the game, so he's out of there. Look at this three-pointer, Teddy.
This is going to give him 34 for the day. Off balance, out of control. Doesn't matter.
That's an NBA three, too, as he's just about on that yellow line. Rasheed Arnold makes the three, but commits the foul as Terrell Stokes was taking it to the hoop. But again, this is a non-shooting foul, a 1-and-1 situation. Pete Merlino perplexed now, unsure of what to do with his star out of the game.
Arnold greeted by the assistant, Lou Williams. Now Merlino, all he can do is watch. 53-53. Eric Coleman, the jump shooter, sophomore, checks into the game for the Bobcats. Again, Greg Carr now talking to Stokes as Terrell waits to shoot the free throws.
26.3 seconds. This time there is somebody in the lane. It's Shawn Smith. So there is one Gratz player in the lane, perhaps to bother them if in fact they inbound. Or when they inbound. 26.3 seconds. Stokes calmly hits the first. And the second. Gratz by 2. Pressure. 23 seconds left to go.
Carr waves away the rest of the Bobcats.
They're looking for Robinson. Lynard Stewart on him. Coleman with the ball, turns it over. Gratz has the ball. 13.8 seconds left to go. They lead it by 2. They inbound to Stokes, who's fouled immediately by Joe Brown. So Terrell Stokes, the man who gave them the 2-point lead, iced the last two one-on-one, or the 1-and-1. Now has another 1-and-1 situation. 12.6 seconds left to go. Rasheed Arnold, who was magnificent today, cannot do anything more. He has fouled out of the game.
If you're FLC, you don't want a sophomore to have to do the big things at the end of the game, especially someone who just came off the bench. Eric Coleman tried to take it hard on the left baseline. Terrell Stokes arrived. Maybe a mini collision. No call. The ball goes out of bounds. That's possession.
Joe Brown has fouled out as well. The 6'6" junior. He's replaced by 6'3" senior Michael Mulroney, seeing his first action of the day with 12.6 seconds remaining. Stokes to shoot 1-and-1 here. In and out. FLC with another chance. Michael Robinson almost threw it away. 8 seconds left. Gratz by 2.
Tried the cross-court pass, had it tipped out of bounds.
They throw it in the backcourt. 5 seconds. Robinson tied up. Looking to try and get it off. And does! For 3! And time has expired. FLC has won it on the most incredible shot you will ever see. As Pete Merlino in the middle of that madness thanks the stars above.
Michael Robinson looked around, eventually figured, hey, nothing better to do. I might as well launch it. He was stumbling.
Gratz had it won. Michael Robinson had one chance. It was a prayer, and it was answered.